The Philadelphia Eagles are heading into a massive Week 2 clash against the Kansas City Chiefs. And while the hype for this Super Bowl rematch is already through the roof, the headlines coming out of Philly this week have been dominated by one thing: injuries. Specifically, the frustrating situation with tight end Dallas Goedert, who once again finds himself on the injury report. And let's just call it what it is at this point. Dallas Goedert is an incredible talent, but he simply cannot stay on the field consistently. This time, it's a knee sprain, and his availability for Sunday is still up in the air. According to league sources, the injury isn't expected to be long-term, but that hardly softens the blow for an Eagles offense that leans heavily on Goedert's versatility. In Week 1 against the Cowboys, he led the team with 7 catches. 7 targets, 7 catches, perfect efficiency. But here we are again, wondering if he'll be able to suit up for another key showdown. And that's the problem. This has become a recurring storyline with Dallas Goedert since he entered the league back in 2018. Every time he looks poised to have a breakout season, injuries throw him off track. To put things in perspective, Goedert has now missed a total of 23 games since his second year in the league. That's more than an entire season lost to injuries. He missed 5 games in 2020, 2 in 2021, 5 more in 2022, then another 3 in 2023, and 7 last year due to both knee and hamstring issues. When he's on the field, there's no denying his impact. He's a complete tight end, elite in the passing game, one of the most effective blockers at his position, and a reliable safety blanket for Jalen Hurts. But none of that matters if he's not available when the team needs him most. And this is exactly why the Eagles didn't offer him a contract extension heading into the final stretch of his deal. Goedert reportedly wanted long-term security, a deal that would keep him in Philly through 2025 and beyond, but the front office couldn't commit. Not with his durability in question. The numbers back that decision. As much as he means to the team, the Eagles need players they can count on, not just in moments, but over the grind of a full season. Jalen Hurts himself reportedly pushed for the team to bring Goedert back, advocating for his value in both the pass game and the run game. But this latest injury just reignites that concern. Can you rely on him to make it through an entire season? That Week 1 performance showed exactly why he's so crucial. While the stat line might not have popped, just 44 receiving yards on those 7 catches. Every single one of those touches was meaningful. They kept drives alive, helped the Eagles maintain possession, and provided rhythm to an offense that was otherwise inconsistent against a tough Dallas defense. It wasn't a flashy performance, but it was the kind of gritty, chain-moving, clock-chewing contribution that championship teams need, especially when your top receivers are struggling to get open downfield, and your quarterback is forced to work underneath. The one big passing play in that game was the 51-yard strike from Jalen Hurts to Jahan Dotson. Outside of that, it was the short game, led by Goedert, that kept the Eagles moving. And if he misses time, that affects not just the passing game, but the entire offensive structure. His absence puts more pressure on the tight ends behind him, and that's a problem. Grant Calcaterra, for example, has shown little development as a blocker, which has a direct impact on the run game. When the Eagles run 2 tight end sets, Goedert's presence allows them to disguise intentions and keep defenses honest. Without him, those formations lose a layer of threat. There's been talk all over Eagles Twitter about the offense running into heavy boxes and the tight end play being a factor. And when your main guy at that position is hurt, it limits your options. The staff can say they're not seeing heavy fronts, but the eye test tells a different story. Goedert isn't just a pass-catching weapon. He's a tone setter. His ability to seal the edge or hold up in pass protection allows the Eagles to stay balanced. And without that, their offensive playbook shrinks. This situation also throws light on the organization's bigger picture thinking. After drafting Goedert in 2018 following their Super Bowl run, it was clear the Eagles were looking to transition away from Zach Ertz. Goedert was supposed to be the heir, and in terms of skill set, he absolutely is. But availability has kept him from fully stepping into that role as one of the NFL's elite. That frustration isn't just felt by fans, it's real in the building. You know the coaches and the front office want to rely on him, but history keeps proving otherwise. They've tried to be patient. They've restructured his deal. They've kept the door open for a long-term partnership. But every injury makes that door close just a little bit more. The truth is, in a league where the margins are razor thin, reliability is everything. The Eagles are built to win now. They're deep, they're talented, and they're in a Super Bowl window. But they can't afford to be held hostage by a player whose body keeps betraying him. And that's what makes this Week 2 status so critical. If he's out again, it's another missed opportunity. If he plays, we're all holding our breath wondering if it'll be the start of comeback, or just another chapter in an all-too-familiar story. All eyes now shift to Sunday. Arrowhead Stadium. Chiefs. Eagles. And while we wait for confirmation on whether Dallas Goedert will be in uniform, another major storyline is unfolding with the Eagles' top wideout, A.J. Brown. Week 1 was a strange one for him. Just one target, one catch, and a whole lot of questions. People wondered if he was dealing with an injury, if he was being used as a decoy, or if something was wrong behind the scenes. But according to A.J. himself, it was none of the above. He spoke out during a podcast appearance with NFL insider Jordan Schultz, and the explanation was pretty straightforward. The Cowboys zone him out of the game. He said, "I didn't get one-man coverage rep the entire night. They were zoning me all game. I'm not hurt. I wasn't a decoy. That's just how it went." And that makes sense if you watch the tape. Dallas made a clear decision. Take A.J. Brown out of the equation. Make someone else beat them. And it worked. But let's not overreact to one quiet performance. This is still one of the most dominant receivers in the NFL. He's been an All-Pro in every season since joining the Eagles. He's gone over 1,000 yards each year. He's physically gifted, elite after the catch, and as tough to bring down as any wideout in the league. You think the Eagles are just going to forget about that after one game? Apparently, Colin Cowherd thinks they might. On his show, The Herd, he floated the idea of Philly trading A.J. Brown to the Patriots. Yes, really. He used Brown's quiet Week 1 and a few lower target games late last season as the rationale. But come on, that's lazy analysis. Look at the body of work. Look at the impact he's had since coming to Philly. When A.J. Brown plays, the Eagles average nearly 28 points per game and are 38-10 with him on the field. Without him, they're 2-3, and their scoring average plummets to just over 16 points. The difference is staggering. Trading a player like A.J. Brown right now, in the middle of a Super Bowl window, would be franchise malpractice. It would be waving the white flag. And Howie Roseman knows better than that. This isn't fantasy football. This is about maximizing a championship core while it's still intact. A.J. Brown is a cornerstone of that core. No shot they move him. And speaking of cornerstones, there's another layer to this story that takes the Eagles-Chiefs matchup to a whole different level. Because while Philly is dealing with questions surrounding injuries and offensive rhythm, Kansas City might be getting a boost of their own, and it comes in the form of one of the most explosive young players in the league. Xavier Worthy, the Chiefs' second-year wide receiver who separated his shoulder just last week during a brutal collision with Travis Kelce, made a surprising return to practice. Yeah, you read that right. The same guy who was thought to be out for multiple weeks, possibly needing surgery, has not only avoided going on IR, but might actually suit up this Sunday. He was spotted at practice with a heavy brace on that right shoulder. And while that doesn't confirm he's playing, it definitely puts the Eagles' secondary on notice. Why does this matter so much? Because Worthy brings a dynamic, vertical threat that Kansas City desperately needs, especially with Rashee Rice unavailable. Without Rice, Patrick Mahomes was already working with a depleted receiving core. The idea of losing Worthy as well had Chiefs fans thinking this offense might be one-dimensional heading into Week 2. But now, even the possibility of Worthy being active changes the way you game plan on defense. Worthy has that kind of speed where he doesn't even need to get targeted to impact a game. Just his presence forces safeties to play deeper. He stretches the field vertically and can shift the entire shape of a defensive coverage. And for Mahomes, who loves to extend plays and exploit even the smallest coverage breakdown, having someone like Worthy running deep routes can open up everything underneath. The Chiefs didn't look like themselves in their season opener, but that was without one of their most exciting offensive weapons. If he plays, This Eagles defense, already facing questions after giving up big plays against Dallas, is going to be tested again in a major way. And that's where this matchup gets really interesting. We already talked about the Eagles' offense potentially missing Goedert. We already broke down the questions about A.J. Brown's role and the outside noise about trading him, which, again, is absurd. But now you've got the defending champions possibly getting healthier at just the right time. It's classic Chiefs. Just when you think you've caught a break, they hit you with a surprise return or an unexpected adjustment. Andy Reid has made a career out of those moments. And don't forget, this is the team that beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl. There's already enough emotion built into this game. For Jalen Hurts and company, this isn't just another regular season showdown. This is personal. This is a measuring stick. They've been circling this game since the schedule dropped. It's the opportunity to prove that last season's heartbreak wasn't the end. It was just the beginning. That they're better, that they're deeper, that they're ready to go back and finish the job. But that path just got harder if Worthy is on the field. It adds another dimension for Sean Desai and this Eagles defense to deal with. And let's be honest, even without Worthy, this defense didn't look completely locked in against the Cowboys. They were physical, yes, but there were lapses in coverage, questionable tackling, and some struggles in communication on the back end. Now you're telling me Patrick Mahomes is coming into this game possibly with another weapon? It's going to be a long afternoon if the Eagles aren't sharp. That said, this is the kind of game where stars need to step up. Whether it's A.J. Brown bouncing back, whether it's Jalen Hurts commanding the offense with poise, or someone on defense like Hasten Reddick or Darius Slay coming up with a momentum-swinging play. This is where contenders show who they really are. There's no hiding in this one. The lights will be bright, the stakes will be high, and every snap is going to feel like it matters. Because it does. This isn't just a Super Bowl rematch. It's a possible Super Bowl preview. Again, and you can already feel that tension building. Not just because of what's happened in Week 1, but because of what's at stake in the big picture. For the Eagles, this is a chance to quiet the doubters. To shut down the noise about injuries, contracts, and whether or not this team peaked last season. For the Chiefs, it's about reminding everyone that they're still the standard. That as long as number 15 is under center, they're the team to beat. And let's not forget about the emotional edge here. The Eagles still haven't fully let go of that Super Bowl loss. They've been respectful, but you can see it in their eyes. You can hear it in how they talk about Kansas City. This game matters to them on a different level. And it's not just about revenge, it's about validation. It's about proving to themselves and to the rest of the league that they belong back in that conversation as the top dog in the NFC and maybe the NFL as a whole. What makes this matchup so compelling is that it's not just about the quarterbacks, even though Hurts versus Mahomes is worth the price of admission alone. It's about the totality of the rosters, the schemes, the coaching, the adjustments. Every little detail is going to matter. Who handles the blitz better? Who wins the turnover battle? Who makes that 1 3rd-and-8 conversion in the fourth quarter that swings the momentum? Games like this are decided by inches. They're decided by execution. They're decided by who wants it more. And as both teams walk into Arrowhead on Sunday, one question will be front and center. Who's ready for the moment? We know what Kansas City is. They've proven it. They've got the rings. They've got the coaching. They've got the quarterback. But what about Philadelphia? Is this the team that can finally take that next step? Is this the moment where they plant the flag and say, we're not just contenders, we're the new kings of the league? Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our Philadelphia Eagles. And don't be shy. Share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Whispers are circulating across the NFL world as Josh Sweat, once a cornerstone of the Philadelphia Eagles defensive line, reportedly expressed regret over his decision to leave the team. Sources close to the player suggest that Sweat has been reflecting on his departure and the impact it had on both his career trajectory and personal connection with the Eagles faithful. Sweat, who was known for his explosive speed and relentless pursuit of quarterbacks, became a fan favorite in Philadelphia, celebrated for his energy on the field and his commitment in the locker room. His departure, initially framed as a strategic move to explore new opportunities, now appears to be a decision he questions in hindsight. It's one of those things you think will be right at the moment, but then you look back and realize what you left behind, an insider hinted, speaking on condition of anonymity. The news has sent ripples through social media, with Eagles fans both nostalgic and speculative. Many remember the pivotal moments Sweat created, from game-changing sacks to relentless pressure in critical playoff games. The thought of him possibly harboring regrets fuels the ongoing conversation. Could a reunion be on the horizon, or is this just reflective nostalgia? Analysts suggest that while the league is always full of movement and surprises, a player openly admitting regret is rare and could influence future negotiations. What's more intriguing is how this revelation might affect the locker room dynamics of his current team. Would Sweat channel this sentiment into a renewed focus, or could it stir unrest if fans and teammates sense divided loyalty? Rumors suggest that the Eagles organization has not dismissed the idea of reconnecting with former talent who made a mark on the franchise. For now, it's all speculation, but the notion of a potential return, or at least a softening of ties, has added fuel to the ever-burning rumor mill surrounding NFL rosters. As the league progresses and teams jockey for position, Josh Sweat's apparent remorse adds another layer of drama to what is already a high-stakes environment. Eagles enthusiasts are watching closely, hoping for signs, while the player himself may be quietly reconsidering the path he once chose with the swagger and speed that made him unforgettable in Philadelphia. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Philadelphia Eagles, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.